4 years, one table, and inside it is the answer to a question every fuel trader, every buyer, and every exporter is quietly asking right now. Is energy about to get more expensive or cheaper over the next 3 years? Most people scroll past a data table like this in 5 seconds. I'm gonna spend the next few minutes showing you why that's a mistake. Here's the problem. Look at the WTI crude oil prices from 2024 to 27. $76.60, then $65.40, then back to $76.26, and then down to $60.76. That's not a straight line. That's a roller coaster. And if you are an exporter pricing a term contract or an importer trying to lock in a supply deal, this kind of volatility is exactly what wrecks margins. People make decisions based on today's price without realizing the ground is shifting under them year to year. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's rising, what's falling, and more importantly, who wins and who needs to hedge based on this data. This isn't just theory. These are the actual numbers projected for US production, consumption, and pricing through 2020-27. But here's what's strange. While the price of the crude is falling, US crude oil production is doing the opposite. It's climbing every single year from, you can see here, 13.23 million barrels a day in 2024 to 14.03 million barrels in 2027. More oil is being produced, but the price going down. That combination tells you something very specific about supply and demand. Stay with me. I will show you exactly what it means for your side of the trade. Here is the root cause. The US is producing more of almost everything. Crude oil 13.23 million barrels per day to 14.3 million barrels per day. Dry natural gas production 103.07 to 115.3 billion cubic feet per day. Coal production 513 to 528 million short tons, then falling back to 492. Coal is the outlier. It rises in 2025, then drops for 2 straight years. That's a supply forming in oil and gas and slow retirement story in coal. When supply grows faster than demand, prices soften. That's exactly what we saw with WTI dropping to 60.76 by 2027. Why does this matter to you specifically? Because consumption is not falling, it's still climbing. As you can see, liquid fuels consumption 3.46 to 20.79 million barrels per day. Natural gas consumption 90.33 to 95.02 billion cubic feet per day. Electricity, you can see here, 11.23 to 12.05 billion kilowatt hours per day. And renewables from 8.72 to 10.04 quadrillion BTU. So demand is growing steadily, just not as fast as supply. That gap is what shapes the entire pricing environment exporters and importers are going to be negotiating inside for the next 3 years. Now, if you are an exporter, here's your read. Rising production combination with softening prices means you are operating in a buyer's market by 2027. The volume is there to sell. Production hits to a projected of 14.03 million barrels per day, but you won't get 2024 level pricing to sell it all. Therefore, exporters need to shift strategy from chase the spot price to lock in volume-based long-term offtake contracts. While production is high and before price pressure tightens further, speed and contract structure matter more than price optimism here. Let me give you a real-world pattern I see constantly. A mid-size exporter holds cargo, waits for a better price, assuming oil always bounces back. Then they watch WTI go from 76 to 65. Then think, great, it's recovering. It hit again 76 in 2026 projection. They wait. Then 2027 hits and the number drops to 60.76. The lowest point in the entire 4-year window. The exporter who waited for a rebound sold at the worst price of the cycle. So waiting doesn't work for exporters in a falling price environment. What's the actual more? And more importantly, what does this same data mean for the people on the other side of the table, the importers? That answer might surprise you. If you are an importer, this data is telling a very different story for you and a much better one for you. Natural gas Henry Hub rises from 2.19 to 3.67 in 2026, then eases slightly to 3.49 in 2027. Therefore, importers should treat 2026-27 as a window to secure long-term crude supply at falling prices. But you have to be cautious on gas. It's not falling the same way. It's plateauing near multi-year high. Buyers who lock crude contracts late in this window and gas contracts early before the 2026 come out ahead on both fronts. Now, before I go further, everyone talks about oil and gas. Almost nobody talks about the number that actually explains why all of this is happening underneath the surface. Look at this. I once watched a trading desk completely misjudged a 2026 supply contract because they only looked at commodity prices, not the macro backdrop. Here's what they missed. The GDP price deflator, here you can see, which tracks board inflation across the economy, climbed from 125.4 to 136.9 in 2027. The rate of that inflation actually peaks in 2026 at 3.6%, then cools to 2.5% in 2027. That means the real cost of doing business, freight, storage, financing, insurance, is still rising even while raw commodity prices like crude soften. A trader who only watches the oil price and ignores the inflation line ends up with a cheap cargo that costs more to move, finance and store than expected. So we have got falling oil prices, rising gas prices and rising underlying costs all happening at once. That's three moving parts pulling in three different directions. There's one number in this entire table that ties it all together and tells you who actually has the advantage over the next 3 years. Let's get to it. Here's the highest value takeaway in this entire table. Real GDP climbs steadily every year. $23,358 billion in 2024 to $24,908 billion by 2027. But the growth rate actually slows first from 2.8% down to 2.1% before picking back up to 2.3% in 2027. That's the real signal the economy keeps expanding. Energy demand keeps climbing with it. But growth deaccelerates right in the same window that oil supply is peaking. That's what's capping prices, not weak demand, but supply outrunning a moderation growth curve. The best move for both sides. Don't trade off any single row in this table. Exporters and importers who win over the next 3 years are the ones who read production against consumption and price against the deflator, not one number in isolation. That's the difference between a trader reacting to headlines and one reading the actual structure of the market. Let's bring it together. Crude oil production, natural gas production, and natural gas and electricity consumption, renewables, real GDP, and the price deflator all climbing through 2020-27. Now, what is the downtrend? Coal production and consumption after 2025 and WTI crude oil price, which ends the period at its lowest point, $60.76. Mixed wallet for exporters. This is a volume strong, price soft market. Lock-in contracts. Don't chase price recovery. For importers, this is a rare window to secure crude at falling prices, but more early on gas before the 2020-26 peak. In the next video, I'm gonna take this exact data and turn it into a real contract timing roadmap. When to lock, when to wait, and how exporters and importers should structure pricing clauses to protect themselves against exactly this kind of divergence between crude, gas, and inflation. You'll want to see that one before you sign your next cargo deal. For further details for US Energy Outlook 2024 to 2027, what it means for exporters and importers, you can check out our blog in the description below this video. See you with the next update. Thank you.